it seems like all I talk about are just GameCube and N64 games on this channel, but I promise I'll talk about other games on other consoles eventually. For now, look at this. This is my entire GameCube collection. Now, let's exclude Luigi's Mansion, Melee, and Metroid Prime as I bought those later, and you got my childhood collection right here. Oh, and yeah. Of course, I have fond memories with stuff like Animal Crossing, Mario Sunshine, and killing all my red Pikmin in the Forest of Hope, but everyone else does too. I also had similar memories with stuff like Pac-Man World 2 and The Sims, even Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. I think everyone has games like that, stuff that no one else really cares about, but you remember playing them, for better or for worse. You might have gotten a hold of these games because your parents bought them for you without your permission, and now you have a good old Elmo's number journey. Now, this leads me to a game called Ribbit King. Basically, my only memories with this game is playing the first level of story mode and seeing the game come with 2 discs. Not every game is like that. This was released for GameCube and PS2 in North America in 2004, and yes, it's one of the games I talked about when bringing up obscure GameCube era stuff in the Cubivore video. Fun fact, Ribbit King actually started off on the PS1 as Kero King, and it had this almost Parappa-like art style, but it had the same gameplay formula as the sequel. That being golf, but with frogs. A new twist on an already basic video game idea could very well be interesting. Ribbit King on GameCube was developed by Jamworks and Infinity. What did they make? Kero 7? It's not the 7th installment in Ribbit King though. It's only a game about another frog. Now, I don't own Ribbit King physically anymore, unfortunately, and there's absolutely no way I can buy it back. In fact, I think it's one of the most expensive GameCube games I've ever seen. That's insane. I'm pretty sure this newfound popularity came from the Game Grumps Let's Playing it, and getting almost 1 million views for each video. Since then, I've seen other internet personalities and YouTubers play it, like Chadtronic. Good on you. Ribbit King kind of grew a small but devoted community, and most would describe it as a hidden gem among party games. And yeah, more demand meant the prices went up astronomically. The PS2 version is also a bit expensive, but it's only $60. But that's no match for a good Dolphin emulator, I guess. See, I've always wanted to revisit this game, and it's been on my backlog for a while now. But it's time. I want to see just about everything Ribbit King has to offer. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I grew up with this game. Is it fair to stuff like Mario Party or Mario Golf as a fun multiplayer experience? Well, let's see here. There's actually a story mode for Ribbit King, and some pretty in-depth lore here too. Meet Scooter, a carpenter on the planet of Hippotron, has been ordered to enter the Frolf tournament because the place is running out of super ribbonite. Apparently the president or whatever only got Scooter because he can use a hammer, and Frolf is all about swinging hammers to fling frogs around. And he also got him a tutorial buddy, Pickwick, a basket, and he was bought because he was on sale. What a cynical president. Apparently you gotta be cheap when your planet is in literal danger. Actually, the game never tells you what the purpose is for super ribbonite, at least I think, but I guess the lack of it is enough of a motive for our main character. Together they have to fly to different planets and play Frolf games with everyone. Okay, not that lore-driven, I know, but it sure is neat, and a basic story. However, let's talk about the core gameplay first. Ribbit King is obviously a golfing game, but with frogs. But it isn't just a golfing game with frogs. It basically takes something like Mario Golf and just changes almost everything. You still have the meter, which lets you know how far you shoot and stuff, but Ribbit King really comes down to the physics of your frogs and how they interact with the gimmicks, hazards, and creatures on the map, all netting you points in some way. The most common of these, however, are the bubbles, which simply just get you points by popping them. There's also trampolines, which bounce you farther ahead, animals which actually can help you provided you do the button prompt on screen. But this fun one where you gotta with each map they also may have a main gimmick, though it might be these targets on slippery ice or straight up lava, which can normally hurt you if you just have a normal frog, which I'll get to a little later. I know I could make a joke about how this is animal abuse, but it says right here in this ad, no frogs were hurt in the making of this game, so just take it for what you will. These games of Frolf consist of 4 battles most of the time, and yeah, with how many opportunities you get to earn points on each map, whoever has the most wins the entire game. I'd say Ribbit King is 70% strategy and 30% luck, maybe 90% strategy if you really study the stages. But I don't think most people want to do that. You'll want to strike a balance between getting to the goal as quickly as possible, while also getting a good amount of bonus points along the way, because if someone else gets into the goal, your points for getting there will decrease by 100 for every turn, and by turn 8, the game literally gives up on you, and you basically lose all those points, and that can suck. You can even get 1500 points if you get to the Frog In portal by turn 1, but that's literally impossible. Depending on how you traverse the environment sometimes, you can seriously fuck yourself up in some places and go down routes you didn't want to, maybe by overshooting or undershooting platforms too, which can happen a lot even if you're sure you would make it. It's this meter that will be the bane of your existence. Go just a little off the full bar and you're done. Oh my god. Oh, and this little hop your frog does after he lands, that can be a make or break situation. You don't know if it'll put you in an OB spot or simply miss the goal and waste a turn like that. Alongside all of this, your frog can switch expressions depending on how much your frog has done the turn before. You can decide how far they can be launched. You can use certain items to heal them though. I guess the items are cool in general too, but I didn't use the more obscure ones like the ice block or whatever. And remember when I said the lava gimmick on the Splint stage? You can actually unlock different frogs which have better elemental strengths from winning games with characters in story mode, like being able to swim in lava, which is very helpful. All in all though, this makes for a lot of strategy in the game. You'll always be deciding where to go, what spot to aim for. Like say you want to go for the bundle of bubbles in one place, or try your button timing by going near an animal. For me personally, I always thought of what to do for the current turn I was in, not turns ahead of me. So that sometimes resulted in me losing points for the goal by going off the beaten path, and even forfeiting. And let me say, these stages can also be very irritating too. Hypnotron, the last level, has this pretty crazy platforming based map. There's so many OB areas where you can lose points with the void taking up like 50% of the stage, and also, what the heck. This frozen stage can get out of here. It's also really stupid that it's so easy to overshoot your frog like that. Wow. I will admit, every stage has cool themes though, like a Technotron City is a really neat idea. I'm not gonna say any of the BS is a bad thing though, how your frog can be a little clunky sometimes. Mario Party has this BS for sure, don't you worry. However, that game is like 50% luck and 50% strategy in my opinion. Ribbit King focuses a lot more on strategy, but sometimes you'll go through some pretty insane tricks. Like I was playing in Ribbitopia against his opponent, and I freaking demolished him by getting over 600 points in one go because of his water section mainly. Yeah, you can rack up some amazing points if you're careful about your movements, but sometimes I feel like I get these combos through pure luck. Eventually, you might need it on your side too. At the end of every game, there's a random bonus which can give someone up to 200 points. Yeah, like Mario Party bonus stars. And having that can turn the tide over. I just didn't know what the name meant. Like, what is Drive King? Oh well, I got it anyways. Let's go! Once again, all of this crazy luck stuff is far from a complaint though. It makes for some competitive, intense games of frolfing. In fact, I played a game with Rero and there were some pretty incredible moments. No! 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 Gotta say, compared to something like Mario Golf, this is a really fun game. Mario sports games aren't really my thing, but I did get to experience the one on N64, and I think it's just very boring. And I just can't even beat the first tournament stage. I suck hard at it. The best way I can describe Ribbit King's formula is that it took Mario Golf and added a few Mario Party elements to it, while keeping some fun strategy in there too. It's simple and intuitive enough to where anyone can really play it, while also having some depth in there, and more room for mess up and total domination. As a multiplayer game, Ribbit King is an absolute blast. As a single player game, well, let's get to that. Yes, the story mode. The structure of story mode is very basic. You just go against certain characters on different planets in the game of Frolf. You can choose which ones to do before others, which I guess is nice. You'll be meeting all sorts of people, like a robot penguin, a perpetually depressed princess, a piece of rock, and even Sluggy. He just kinda appears, and even Scooter and Pickwick make a remark about him being creepy, which is pretty funny.
A referee? Are they always that creepy? I don't really trust him. He's shady.
I'll refer to him as a gay black alien though, and also his voice clips are great.
Yes.
Oh.
Ow! By the way, can I mention these cutscenes? I think they're pretty charming, and they got some pretty good jokes in there, and these character designs are actually amazing. Each character you can look at and say, I like them. They're all very lovable, except for the dude who just plays video games and just doesn't care about his partner. Anyways, you'll obviously be playing against these guys, and it's your job to win. The CPU difficulty will get harder and harder as you progress, of course. And remember when I said this game is a little annoying sometimes? Like I said, it can lead to some pretty stupid moments every now and then. But when you're playing just to win and get through the single player campaign, it can be a bit irritating sometimes. It feels like these CPUs just make the most calculated decisions on where to go, getting the best combos ever. In fact, by replaying some of these games, I found out that they'll do the exact same or similar maneuvers as last time. So yeah, they really are absolute calculated brain power moves. Also, they can just do this. What? Man, what a terrible player. Like, how did he do that? Wow! After each game, though, the characters always try to bargain with you for some reason. Like, do you want to buy an item or an egg which hatches a new species of frog? Anyways, that's all there is to the story mode itself, and alright, prepare for this. Ribbit King spoilers in a bit. Don't watch the sport if you don't want to. It's a bit of a surprise, really. Ribbit King just comes out with a big plot twist. The final boss is actually the gumball machine in the Frolf spaceship. Yes, you would just use Gumba Goo for getting random items, but now it's up to you to beat him in a game of Frolf on Hypnotron. Honestly, what even is this game? I mean, the final boss is a gumball machine. What the heck? After doing that, you get the Super Ribbonite, and you're planning to save, I guess. Now, for those wondering, yeah, there is a second story mode to the game. It has to do something with the Oinkatrons wanting a video game, or I don't even know. It doesn't have any new character opponents though. It's just a repeat of what you saw, just much shorter. But suffice to say, I didn't feel like doing it. It does get you the true ending though, so there you go, I guess. Also, I feel like I should mention the second disc this game came with, Ribbit King Plus. It's actually just a compilation of a bunch of animated movies with the characters from Ribbit King. I guess they're all really cute, and they have their charm for sure. I actually feel like this could have led to an entire TV show, but who knows? It's a pretty cool addition nonetheless. Ribbit King definitely left me with a great impression. It's a very good multiplayer party game with some really cool and wacky ideas that all just come from launching a frog around a map. I would highly suggest trying this out, especially if you have friends and whatnot. You'll surely have some fun with this game. It's got that good balance of madness there too. Of course, not reaching Mario Party levels of ridiculousness, but it has more focus on strategy, and that's always nice. I also thought the characters, the world, this kind of charm the designers made here was also actually sublime. Seriously, this game is lovable with all of its cutscenes from start to finish. As I said earlier, however, it has risen in price dramatically, so you might as well get a couple people on a Discord call and open up Parsec and an emulator. That's all I can tell you for now. And you know what? Just thinking about it, how is there no sequel to this game? How has this not become a full-fledged series to this day? I think Ribbit King could actually really benefit from some more gimmicks maybe, more characters, maybe more modes, stuff like that. It's a crying shame Ribbit King didn't go on to flesh his ideas out a little more. The base concept is there, and it provides some really fun gameplay. You might have also noticed I didn't voice many actual flaws with the game, and that's because it just works. I just want to see Ribbit King again, but of course that's unlikely. Maybe a port onto modern consoles? Okay, I'm asking for too much here. But I mean, Frolf is actually a very innovative idea. There's nothing inherently wrong with it. But at the end of the day, it was a game that went into obscurity. But I mean, it really is a hidden gem, I'd say. I hope this video at least made you consider playing it for yourself. And hey, this may be a sign. I don't know. I'm probably not going to review Chibi Robo just yet. Maybe I'll move to another console finally. Anyways, see you guys someday.
Yeah, it's like a Koopa show. What? What?
Dude.
That's not fair.
Well, also this is the main goal, so you can get 1,000 points from this.